I'm going to make a quick analogy, so if you would, just hang with me for a minute. You know the story about the man and the work boots that basically tells you how expensive it is to be poor. So he doesn't have enough money to buy the $50 work boots that would last him years, but he has $10, so he can buy $10 cheap work boots that he'll have to replace every season. What you can quickly see is that after 5 years, right, the expensive work boots would have paid for themselves, but the poor man can't afford that. He barely has the $10 that he has to get the crappy work boots. So he's left having to buy crappy work boots season after season after season. And the wealthier man who could afford the $50 work boots can get ahead. Family law is a lot like that, especially when it comes to attorney's fees. So say we have a case where there's an inequity in income. The husband's earning $250,000 a year and the wife is a stay-at-home mom. Well, they separate, and most courts seem to feel like the parties are responsible for retaining the kind of lawyer they can afford. Well, the $250,000 wage earner can afford an attorney at that level, while the stay-at-home spouse is probably going to struggle to have access to even the most basic attorney. So that means that I see women who are basically, buying their freedom at any cost. They're waiving things that they wouldn't have to waive if they were able to afford to go to court, but because they can't even afford the retainer and the court isn't that likely to advance attorney's fees or to have any kind of division of the marital assets that are coming in, her husband is able to do that to her. And not only does that put her in a vulnerable place today, it puts her in a vulnerable place over the long term, especially if he's going to come back and weaponize litigation against her again in the future over, say, custody and visitation. Something that I see happen all the time, and it's a big concern in family law cases.